someone fell for you. Not slowly, not the way it happens in the movies, where there is music and montage and everybody sees it coming. Oh no, this was fast. This was one moment, the ordinary, unmarkable moment, and something in them just went quiet and then went loud, and they have not been the same since. And here is the part that's going to sit strange in your chest. You don't know which moment it was. You have probably noticed something, though, haven't you? You have probably noticed the text back faster than they used to. You have probably noticed they remember things you barely said. A throwaway line, a food you don't like, the name of somebody in your life who does not matter to anyone but you. You have probably noticed they look at you a half second longer than the conversation requires, and then they look away too fast, like they got caught. That's not an accident. That is real. That is real. Okay, let me be really specific. I am not talking about attraction. Attraction is easy. Attraction is cheap. Attraction happens in a grocery store aisles and dies in a parking lot. I am talking about the scene underneath it. The scene where somebody sees a small honest gesture and their whole nervous system say, oh, people can be like that. Because that is what happened. You did one thing, one small thing, and you did not even file it as a sin. Here is what nobody tells you. The moments that change people are almost never the moments we perform. It is not the outfit, it is not the joke that landed, it is not the version of you that you rehearsed on the drive over, running lines in your head about what you say, how you had sit, how you had seem. That version, they like it fine. It did not move them. What moved them was the second you stopped. Think of a specific moment. Maybe it's a Tuesday, nothing special, evening, that's all. Fluorescent light or the last of the sun does not matter. Somebody was talking and you were listening, actually listening, the way you do, the way that cost you something. And they said a thing that wasn't a big thing, and you did not fix it. You did not rush past it. You just stayed there with them for a bit longer than anyone else would have. That was it. That is the one thing. Or maybe it was smaller than that. Maybe you were kind to a stranger when nobody was watching, and they were watching. Maybe you told the truth when it would have been easier and warmer and softer to lie. Maybe you admitted you did not know something. Maybe you laughed a real laugh, the ugly one, the one that gets away from you, and you did not chase it back down. And they saw the whole architecture of you in that one crack of light. Here is what most people don't understand. People are not falling in love with what you present. They are falling in love with what escapes. They have been sitting in rooms full of curated people for years. Everybody smooth, everybody managed, everybody with their answers preloaded. And they got so used to that. They They forgot that anything else was possible. They forgot people had insides. And then there was you, being unglamorously, inconveniently real, and something in them just cracked open. Let me be really specific about what happened to them after. They went home. They did the ordinary things. Keys on the counter, shoes off, the light in the kitchen, they always forget to turn on. And in the middle of that nothing, your face came back to them. Not the full of you, just that one moment. The thing you said, the way you looked when you said it. And they replayed it. And then they replayed it again. That is what fallen actually is. It's not the fallen, it's the replay. They have been replayed it walking to their car. They have replayed it at 2 in the morning when the ceiling is doing that the ceiling do. They have replayed it in the shower and in traffic and in the middle of the conversation with somebody else. And they have had to pull themselves back and say, sorry, what? Sorry, I zoned out. And the person they were talking to has no idea they were standing in a room with you that no longer exists. I know how that sounds. I do. But you already knew, didn't you? Some part of you has felt the weight of being thought about. And here is the thing that's going to be hardest to hear. They have not told you. They have not told you because it's too big now. It got too big to hand over casually. It stopped being a thing you could say in the doorway on the way out and became a scene that required a whole conversation, a brave one, and they are not brave yet. So instead, they hover, they send a message that has no purpose. They find reasons. They are near you and they are careful with you and they think they are being subtle. They are not being subtle. Their silence is not emptiness. Their silence is full. It's the loudest thing in the room, and you have been standing in it, wondering why the air feels thick. And I want you to notice something, because I don't think you have. There is a version of this where you decide you imagine it, where you take all of it, the lingering, the remembering, the way they show up, and you file it under I'm reading too much into things. You have done that before. You have done that your whole life, honestly. Somebody trained you a long time ago to destruct the very first thing you sense. You are not making this up. You are not making this up, and the proof is that you have never once been wrong about this, and you still don't believe yourself. That is not humility, that is a habit, and it's costing you something. Not because you don't care, because you care too much. And caring too much made you decide it was safer to assume nothing than to hope for something. And listen, is not about them. This is about what you did. Because something shifted in you before any of this. Do you remember? You stopped auditioning, not dramatically, not with a speech, nobody clapped. You just got tired. You got tired of managing how you came across, of running the numbers on every sentence before it left your mouth, of being a person who was easy to be around at the cost of being the person who was actually there. So you stopped and you started saying the true scene instead of the smooth scene. You have not become someone different. You just stopped hiding. And the world responded so fast it scared you a little. Because that is what happens. When you stop performing, you become legible. And people who have never been able to read anyone suddenly find they can read you and they don't know what to do with that. Some of them get closer, some of them get strange, some of them fall. You have noticed the strangeness too, I think. There are people around you who got quieter, people who compare themselves to you now in a way they did not before. Conversations that pause for just a second when you arrive. Somebody who used to be warm and is now careful. They are not reacting to who you are. They are reacting to what you are reflecting back. Because when you stopped hiding, you made hiding visible. And that is uncomfortable for anyone still doing it. You did not do anything to them, you just stopped playing the game. And the game only works if everybody agrees to keep playing. So let them be uncomfortable. Let them wonder what changed. Let them ask each other about you. Let them decide you have become distant when the truth is you have become present and they can't tell the difference yet. You don't have to shrink to make that easier. You don't have to explain the shift. You don't have to apologize for being clearer than you used to be. And this one matters. You don't have to reach into someone's silence and pull the words out for them. Their fear is not your job. Their timing is not your responsibility. You can know what you know, you can feel what you feel, and you can still go and live your entire beautiful life while they finish being afraid. That is not coldness. That is not you being hurt. That is you being wise. And your sincerity, the sin you have apologized for, the sin somebody once called too much, the sin that makes you notice the shift in a room before anyone speaks. That's not a flow you have been managing. That is the instrument. That is the whole instrument. It's the reason you paused long enough to give somebody the one moment that changed them. Somebody less sensitive would have walked right past and never known. So here is what is coming. The silence is going to end. Not because you forced it, because pressure always finds its exit and they are running out of the room to hide. And when it comes, it's going to be clumsy and too honest and a little bit late, the way real things always are. But whether they speak or don't, and I mean this, you are already changed. This is not a story about someone falling for you. It's a story about what happens when you finally stop auditioning for your own life. Somebody fallen is just the evidence, it's a recipe. New people are arriving. New rooms are opening, and you are walking into them without the costume for the first time, and you have no idea yet how rare that is. You did one thing. You told the truth about who you are in a small, ordinary moment when it would have been so much easier and so much safer not to. That is the whole secret. That is the whole thing. That is all it ever was, really. So keep doing it. Keep being unmanaged and unpolished and inconveniently real. Keep laughing the ugly laugh. Keep staying a bit longer than the conversation requires. Somebody's whole life turned on that once. It will happen again. You have already chosen this. You chose it one day. You got tired of pretending. You're not too much. You never were. You were never too much. You were just finally visible. And visible is a scene most people never get to be. And it looks so good on you. It really does. Love you. Be safe.